What's going on in your life that might be having you trapped in a pain cycle? Let's figure it out. All right, so this is one of our illustrations we like to use, simply called the lifeline. All right, this is your life, okay? This point right here is now. This point down here is some future date, okay? Maybe when you expire or when you retire, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the way we look at physical capacity and how that leads to pain and the simple choices you need to be making today to make sure you get to this end point here with a lot of function left over is by looking at it through the lens of functional mobility and functional strength and how that's going to play out for you over time. So when we're looking at this line, it's not just linear through time, but it's also the level of your lifestyle, okay? So, and what we're looking at is the highest thing that you do, the highest level of activity that you do is what sets the bar. So this might be running marathons. This might be lifting weights. This might be cycling. This might be hiking. It might be recreational sport or anything like that. Whatever the most difficult thing you do is what sets the level of the bar for your physical capacity, okay? And these are just the things that are in your life. Whatever this is, this line never changes. Things can come on and off the line, like your activity levels may decrease, but whatever you're doing in your day is on the line, okay? Now, here's what we see, is that people aren't making the conscious choice, the intentional effort to become stronger and increase their physical capacity. And so what happens naturally is the decline, okay? Where their lifestyle is remaining the same. They're still participating in sports or hiking or physical activity or whatever the case may be, but over time the body is getting weaker, slower, less resilient. And this is actually a pretty steep trajectory as compared to the other side. But what we have is that the lifestyle is remaining the same, the body is on a physical decline, and this gap right here is the pain and injury potential. Okay, you're creating a lot of opportunity to put your body in a position where it's going to be stiff and achy and hurt or even become injured, which is a much more severe type of setback, because your life requires so much more than what your body physically has to offer, okay? Now we see two things happen here. We either see injury happen, which then decreases their line down to whatever the point is. Okay, it forces your lifestyle down so that your body can recover. Or we see people just out of fear, like people start to realize this gap. They realize when they do things, it hurts. And they just start to pull things out of their lifestyle that they enjoy doing so that they decrease their potential for disaster. Okay, now this is not living, okay? You don't want to just remove stuff from your lifestyle because you're worried it might hurt and lead to a problem. You also don't want to ride this train so far that life forces you through injury to decrease your lifestyle so far that your body is forced to rest and recover and heal. Okay, but it doesn't change the fact that once it does, you're just going to try to increase your lifestyle again and your body's still on the decline. So the opposite side of this is the conscious choice to improve your functional mobility and strength across the lifespan, okay? And now, if you've worked out before, you know, building takes a lot. And if you don't work out for 2 weeks, you just, whoop, it's like you lose it all. And so you'll notice this trajectory is not quite as steep, right? But what we get at the end of this one is the pain and injury buffer, okay? Your physical capacity has actually exceeded what your lifestyle requires. You are more resilient than the demands of your life, and it creates a buffer for injury. And what we see happen here is that over time, continuing to build functional mobility and strength across the lifespan as you get into the upper echelons of aging, is that naturally things just fall off of your lifeline. The demands of your lifestyle just decrease naturally. And so, maybe it's like, I don't want to run marathons anymore. Great. Well, this thing just moved way down here. Okay. You retired and the demands of your work are just less. Like maybe you're involved in some type of physical labor and you retire, good for you, but now the demands of your lifestyle have just shifted downwards. And so then what we see, rather than pain or injury decreasing your lifestyle for you, or you removing things out of fear for creating a problem for yourself, you're actually intentionally building functional mobility and strength, and then one day, your lifestyle just comes down here. And then what happens is now you're much older, but you have a huge buffer because you've been super intentional about maintaining and building your functional mobility and strength over a long period of time. This is a much better situation to be in because let's say by chance that you actually lived 20 years longer than you thought you would, okay? Now, your retirement account better be ready for that, but what we think is even worse is that if you add a lot of years to your life, you need this big buffer to make sure you still have a lot of quality of life in those years, okay? Because what we don't want you to do is run out of function. Running out of function is just as bad as running out of money. So, just the simple choice right now, whatever this point is in time, research shows that if you exercise 150 minutes a week, you increase your longevity up to like 27%. If 2 of those days are strength training, 40%. So you can actually add almost 7 years to your lifespan, regardless of how old you are, how much you weigh, what your gender is, what you do for a living, how much money you make, or regardless of any other comorbidities you have, which is any other sickness you've got going on inside your body long term, heart disease, diabetes, whatever. Okay, so starting today, if you just work out 150 minutes a week, which is not that much, and 2 of those days are strength training, you can add 7 years to your lifespan. And how about we add 7 years to your lifespan, but make sure you've got a lot of function where those 7 years are fun. You're not just sitting in a chair withering away, okay? So just wanted to show you this as a simple illustration to understand how the demands of your life require certain things from you. And if you don't have those and your trajectory is here, you're either going to be forced out of your lifestyle or you're going to start choosing to remove things because you're going to recognize the huge gap and the potential for real problems. Or you can make the simple choice, and really this is a choice. You're not actively choosing to do this one, which means you're passively choosing to do that one. Okay? It's still a bad choice. Get up here, make the better choice. Start taking some simple steps. You don't need to bite off more than you can chew. That's one of the biggest problems we see. 1, pain is a barrier to fitness. People want to be involved in fitness. They know it's good for them, but their body hurts already. And that's because they've already been on this train for too long and they need help breaking out of that. So we want to help you escape the pain so you can step over the threshold and get involved in fitness and do it in a way where you're comfortable and confident in your abilities to do that thing, to start doing this without creating more of this, the pain, the injury, the potential, okay? So we see pain as a huge barrier to making this decision, but we also see a huge barrier because people think, I need to be in the gym 7 days a week for 90 minutes. I need to start jogging, and you haven't jogged in 15 years. Small steps, okay? Just doing 5 or 10 minutes a day of focused and intentional movement leads to 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Okay, start small and build from there, knowing that right now, if you start making these choices, by the time you get down here, you will be on this trajectory. And this trajectory, regardless of how big the buffer is that you've created, any buffer over your lifestyle is way better than this trajectory. It's so hard to come back from that. So hope that's a useful illustration for you. Feel free to reach out if you have questions or need a little guidance. But ultimately, start making the simple choices to take care of yourself physically. Let's get rid of your pain so fitness becomes easy. Nutrition also factors in here a little bit, and it's a very valuable conversation to have. And so if you need that conversation, let us know. See you later.